This is the most important Corvette generation of the whole bow-tie V8 penis patriot lineage.
Pure speed, what's there to fear? I got your northeast extension for you, right over here. I'll give it to you only with your consent, 'cause I'm not a crazy person, I just drive a Corvette.
C4. The car that tops off the pot of jealousy even today. Listen, without the C4, all your adorable McGuire's massaging, low-dicking, border patrolling, sidewalk-facing, barstool nodding. That's what I'm talking about, Ing. Just as fast as a Porsche talk wouldn't happen without the C4, because the C4 represents the biggest jump in technology for the Corvette. I mean, look at the C3. As sexy as it looks in retrospect, and as cool as it sounds while idling. It was a dragging anchor on the ship of progress. Yes, I hear you. Yes, the final year of the C3 had a body kit which had a better drag coefficient than the first year of the C4, but the C3 was a single-story pickup artist reeking of carburation and yes, I know all about the not at all rare crossfire injecting splatter disaster that some C3s had, but they were often chucked for carburetors faster than a Chardonnay drunk mom leaps up from the table the moment the wedding DJ plays Cotton Eye Joe. Look at this huge clamshell hood lifting up and revealing the front suspension and wheels sitting alone in the open like an F1 car. And oh yeah, digital gauges. Real fart. Wait, it doesn't work? What? They're not even real? This fancy gauge, it's just a color overlay. And it gets burnt out because the sun shines on it and melts all the colors together like a rainbow bukkake. So most of the C4s you're gonna find on Craigslist will be automatics because when the C4 landed in 1984, automatic transmissions were still seen as a luxurious and prestigious option.
So fancy.
So fancy.
So fancy.
Oh, so fancy.
Oh, it's so fancy.
So fancy.
Quite right, it's so fancy.
So fancy.
I drive an automatic Corvette and it's so fancy. I wouldn't bother changing my own gears. It's so 1970s. Automatic is in vogue right now, don't you know?
So fancy.
It's so fancy, I'll need a second monocle.
Hartford, Connecticut. Yeah, there was no model year for 1983. No Corvettes were made in 83. C4 delays caused General Motors not to release a 1983 Vette. But they planned to release it. I mean, they've always had Corvettes. They planned to release it, but since so much of the technology was unproven, they couldn't launch the C4 until 1984. And if you want some crazy facts here, they did build Corvettes in 83. They built 43 of them. But none of those cars were sold in 83. Because California legislation was high on its own significance and voted at the 11th hour for more strict emissions regulations. General Motors wasn't ready for those new requirements in the C4, so they pushed the C4 sales out to January of 84, so they could meet the new dick move laws. C4s are cheap now. They're the cheapest ones you can buy. In Pennsylvania, everybody knows a Patrick Murphy, and many people know someone who's driven a Corvette and won't shut up about it. From 1984 through 1988, the Corvette was available with a Doug Nash 4+3 transmission, which was a 4-speed manual coupled to an automatic overdrive on the top 3 gears. This enabled Corvette to add an overdrive while keeping the 4-speed tranny, because everybody at the VFW holds a certain reverence for 4 on the floor. The automatic overdrive is in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th gears, but it was eventually replaced with a 6-speed manual, making the Doug Nash 4+3 a sort of Carmen Sandiego rarity. This allowed the 5.7-liter or 350 cubic inch L98 V8 to be enjoyed by guys who can handle manual gearboxes but can't see why kids love Cinnamon Toast Crunch. 1988 Corvette C4, the official car of watching Hannah Mink's videos on mute. This is the car for the secret softie, the sensitive man who shouldn't be ashamed of it, because real men cry on the hoods of their Corvettes. His favorite part of sex is the pillow talk, and he lets his girlfriend play with his prostate a little, but the guys at the poker game don't have to know. Ooh. Naturally, the Corvette is a brand of tremendous character. You look at an AMC Pacer or a Geo Metro and you think, there's a guy who thinks the best part of Final Fantasy VII is when you challenge some buff dude to a squatting contest so he can win a cheap wig and dress up as a whore to trick a fat mafia don. But with your average Corvette, it's got an unmistakable appearance. You don't tell your girlfriend you're beautiful to me because it's redundant. You tell her, you're beautiful. And you say the same thing to a Corvette. You're beautiful. Damn you, you're an old bird, but you're as beautiful and fresh to me as the day I put myself inside you. At least that's how it should be, ideally. But, well, it's not here on the C4. While this is a car of savage efficiency and drivability, it leaves something to be desired in that all-important looks department. Frankly, it looks just like a Corvette. It's a classic now, sure, but there's no excess here. There's lots of innovation under the hood, but the body style is muted. This is exactly what a Corvette kid would have designed a Corvette to look like in the 80s, because this is the kind of look that was privileged. The car is set low, sure, but the sense of aesthetic priority is higher off the ground than Yao Ming's dick. And yet there's something to be said for the lack of brand dignity today versus back then. Corvette picked a look, and they've largely stuck to the C4's look. This is the car that defined what a Corvette looks like. This was the age when you put the word computer on the dash, and it meant something. There's a reason Corvettes are still a commodity today in a ways other cars aren't. It's because there's a uniform aesthetic, an exclusivity and elitism that prevents the brand from ever feeling truly regular, but it also keeps it attainable to anybody willing to work hard enough to afford one. Then again, while it's a commodity in ways most other cars aren't, Corvettes also bring out the argumentative side in enthusiasts like few cars can do. With the exception of Callaway, most tuner guys hate Corvettes. And I've never heard a good reason outside, so much displacement, it hardly makes any power. Random Access Memories was the first Daft Punk album I listened to. I blame the internet. I blame it for the instant feedback that condemns certain opinions to the gutter before they can even get a chance to breathe. But if I do that, I'm condemning the means by which regular car reviews exists. But even then, cars are so much more a heated business than ever before among the public, and especially Corvettes. They're like Radiohead or the Pixies or Nirvana or the Beastie Boys. You're not allowed to hate them without catching a proverbial firestorm at your front doorstep. Whatever happened to respectful disagreement? Upvote and downvote culture reduces arguments to enthusiastic agreement or go die in a whoring accident. And it's especially intense in car culture. Hell, we probably encounter this sort of thing in everyday conversation, even if we weren't putting our criticisms on YouTube for the world to see. You criticize a Corvette, and you get the two extremes of disagreement. Defenders either misspell everything in a passive-aggressive lowercase manifesto, or they just put on caps lock so everybody knows how hard they're punching the keys. Uh-oh, things are getting a little bit case sensitive. Of course, we don't shy away from criticism. If anything, we embrace it. And car enthusiasts should too, no matter what they own. Don't get sucked into it's either all okay or none of it's okay. Reject the modern age where feedback isn't instant. But in the margins, there are still outposts of modern criticism. So, the 1988 Corvette C4, the chariot for the modern digital age. It existed during the proto-internet, and the young digital Turks who were shaping the world we know it today were driving these back in the day. Even if your K20 brain can't understand it, your ass deserves to sit in one and understand the vehicle champion this entire mess, including the computer you're watching this on. Have a good week.
I hate my friend's Instagram, he makes double. But I forgot he posts the good times but never posts the struggle. But I really like your car and your wife looks kinda nice. I can't imagine a single bad bone in her body unless it's mine. 'Cause it's 1:30 time.